By the late 1860s, New York City had become one of the fastest-growing cities in the world. More than 1 million people crowded its streets, and every day Broadway descended into chaos. Horse-drawn streetcars competed with freight wagons, elegant carriages, delivery carts, and thousands of pedestrians. Traffic often moved no faster than a person walking. City leaders debated solutions, but few imagined that the answer might lie beneath the streets themselves. One man believed New York needed a bold new idea. His name was Alfred Ely Beach, an inventor, engineer, and the publisher of Scientific American. Beach spent his career promoting innovation. Unlike many politicians, he believed technology could solve problems that others considered impossible. His greatest dream was to build an underground railway beneath Broadway. Beach proposed a revolutionary transportation system that would carry passengers beneath the busiest streets in America. Many engineers admired the idea. The public was intrigued, but powerful political leaders were not. Among the most influential was William Major Tweed, better known as Boss Tweed, the leader of Tammany Hall, whose political organization exercised enormous influence over New York City's public works and transportation projects. Beach's proposal failed to gain approval. Rather than abandon his vision, Beach searched for another path. He obtained permission to construct what officials believed would be a short underground pneumatic mail tube. The permit appeared harmless, but Beach had a far more ambitious plan. Instead of building only a mail system, he intended to demonstrate a working underground passenger railway and spent $350,000 of his own money to build it. That's $8.5 million today. Construction began in complete secrecy. Working mostly at night, laborers excavated beneath Broadway while traffic continued overhead. Construction equipment and building materials were delivered in the dark of night, and dirt was secretly removed in the early morning hours. The work demanded extraordinary precision. Any major collapse could destroy buildings or interrupt one of the busiest streets in America. New York Mayor Abraham Oakey Hall became suspicious and sent an aide with a written order to inspect the work. Beach's workers refused to let the inspectors into the construction area. Even in the daytime, watchmen kept the doors to the site locked. In the 1860s, New York's construction regulations and inspection system were far less developed. Beach adopted an innovative tunneling shield that supported the surrounding earth as workers advanced. Behind the shield, masons carefully built thick brick walls to form the tunnel itself. Instead of tearing open Broadway with massive trenches, the tunnel gradually advanced underground with surprisingly little disruption above. Remarkably, the 300-foot tunnel and station were completed in just 58 days. At the heart of the railway stood a powerful steam engine fueled by coal. The boiler heated water until it became high-pressure steam. That steam powered a large roots blower, a mechanical air pump that forced enormous volumes of compressed air into the tunnel. Instead of using a locomotive, the moving air itself propelled the passenger car smoothly through the underground tube. To return the car, engineers simply reversed the airflow. Beach believed that passengers would judge underground travel by their first impression. Rather than constructing a dark, dirty station, he created one of the most elegant public spaces in New York City. The station featured polished marble walls, richly painted ceilings, ornate gas lighting, carved walnut furniture, comfortable waiting areas, and even a decorative fountain. Visitors often compared it to the lobby of a luxury hotel rather than a railway station. The railway itself consisted of a single, beautifully finished passenger car designed to carry dozens of riders. Without smoke, sparks, or the noise of a steam locomotive, passengers would glide silently through the tunnel, propelled only by compressed air. For most Americans, the experience seemed almost unbelievable. By early 1870, Alfred Ely Beach was ready to reveal his remarkable achievement. Hidden beneath one of the busiest streets in America was the nation's first successful underground passenger railway. Curious New Yorkers would soon descend beneath Broadway and experience a vision of the future unlike anything they could have ever imagined. In February of 1870, Alfred Ely Beach finally revealed his remarkable achievement. Word spread rapidly throughout New York. Citizens formed long lines stretching along Broadway, eager to experience America's first underground passenger railway. For 25 cents, visitors could take a ride into what many believed was the future of transportation. The moment passengers entered the station, many forgot they were underground. Instead of dark tunnels and smoke-filled platforms, they discovered polished marble, decorative frescoes, carved walnut furniture, elegant gas lighting, colorful flags, and a beautiful fountain flowing at the center of the station. Beach wanted every visitor to understand that underground travel could be clean, comfortable, safe, and even luxurious. When the engineer opened the massive air valves, compressed air gently pushed the passenger car through the tunnel. The ride lasted less than a minute, yet passengers were astonished. There was no smoke, no locomotive, very little vibration, only a smooth, quiet journey powered almost entirely by moving air. For many New Yorkers, it seemed like something from the future. The demonstration became an immediate success. Families returned with friends. Engineers traveled from around the country to study the remarkable invention. Within its first year, more than 400,000 passengers rode Beach's pneumatic subway. The public had embraced underground transportation. Now Beach hoped to build something far greater. Beach unveiled ambitious plans to extend his railway beneath Broadway and eventually create a modern subway system serving much of Manhattan. He envisioned miles of underground tunnels carrying thousands of passengers every day, reducing congestion and transforming the future of New York City. Many engineers believed his proposal was practical. The public supported the idea, but politics proved to be a far greater obstacle than engineering. William Boss Tweed and the powerful Tammany Hall political organization had long exercised enormous influence over New York City's public works. Beach's independent subway proposal threatened established political and business interests tied to transportation projects. Despite growing public enthusiasm, approval for a large underground railway remained out of reach. In 1871, Boss Tweed's political empire collapsed amid corruption investigations. For a brief moment, Alfred Ely Beach believed his opportunity had finally arrived. Without Tweed's influence standing in the way, it appeared that New York's underground railway might finally become reality. Then disaster struck. In 1873, a severe financial panic swept across the United States. Banks failed, railroad companies collapsed, investment capital disappeared almost overnight. The economic crisis ended nearly every realistic chance of financing Beach's ambitious subway expansion. The greatest obstacle was no longer politics, it was money. Unable to secure the enormous funding required, Alfred Ely Beach reluctantly abandoned his dream. The station was closed. The tunnel beneath Broadway was eventually sealed and largely forgotten. For decades, countless New Yorkers passed overhead, unaware that the city's first successful underground passenger railway remained hidden beneath their feet. More than 30 years later, New York finally opened its first permanent subway system in 1904. Although Beach's pneumatic railway was never expanded, it had demonstrated something extraordinary decades earlier. Underground rapid transit was practical, it was safe, and it represented the future of growing cities. Today, millions of passengers travel beneath New York every year, often unaware that the city's first successful subway was built in secret by one determined inventor whose vision was simply too far ahead of its time. Alfred Ely Beach never lived to see the subway system he imagined, yet his remarkable experiment beneath Broadway proved that great ideas sometimes arrive long before the world is ready to embrace them.